Okay, so we've got this loosely installed on here, right? I just told you I'm gonna have to remove that brake, emergency brake line right there. No big deal, we're just gonna reestablish that after we get this done. And this ended up actually at about 20 and 3/4. So that's why we don't just say that it's gonna be 22. Could be on some, most time it's not. So 20 3/4 is where it ends up at. So next thing we're gonna do is install our roller on this. So this consists of the bolt here, the roller on it, and then our nylon lock nut for this guy. You're gonna basically bring this up, and the whole key to where this bracket needs to be is this is centered. You see how it's centered front to back? That's massively important for this thing to be able to articulate the way it needs to be. If for some reason you've got something that's limiting that, where you just cannot do it, bring it as far forward as you can, or as close this way, not that way. But if you've got to be a little bit closer to the front of this, I'm fine with that. Just not all the way to the extreme back if you can prevent it, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and get this in there, put the roller in between, so this thing can roll on that if it needs to, like if you're gonna, has articulation if you're meeting a hill or meeting a downhill and your trailer hasn't met it yet and it's got to kind of move up or down. That's what this does. We're going to get that in there, get our nylon lock nut on there, and loosely install that for the moment here, just to make sure that we're all good, and I think we are. Now we've just got to make sure that this frame bracket is good left to right as well, so we've got the same amount of distance here as we do over there, and I'll finish that up here in just a second. But that, other than tightening this down, this is a 55 foot-pounds torque right here. Once you get this centered, you can actually do that right now if you'd like, because this will center with it, no problem at all. And we're on to the next step, which is gonna be, let's flip it over and see. Man, we're gonna do final adjustments here in just a second, which is kind of scary. So we're already there. So I'm gonna finish up this. I've got to basically reposition this. We're gonna tighten this stuff down, get this all torqued to spec. You can see how this has got about 1/4 inch here. I've got a couple of options. I think I'm gonna try a nut in there first and see if that gives us enough. And if not, I'm gonna use some washers. So it can be something you've got laying around. I've had some people use like nylon blocks for it. You can do whatever you want, just a spaced up bit, or if you don't want it spaced up at all, it's really not that big of a deal. You can still actually just screw it back down with that on there and it'll balance fine for you. But whatever you'd like to do, we're gonna get this buttoned up here, and then we can try and do some hitching and unhitching and all that fun stuff. So just give us a few and I'll be right back.